Would you believe there are 3 Liliths? Which one do we work with? Hi everyone, welcome back to Casting Cauldron. If you are part of the Casting Cauldron crew, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Sabrina. I am a shamanic witch on the Celtic path and the Druidic tradition. This is my 3rd attempt to make this video. Jade was playing with my hat, now she's playing with my foot. Go get your hat. I have just discovered, well, I kind of saw it, but I wasn't sure that I should pay attention to it. But I've gone back to realizing that this 3rd Lilith that's in my chart is actually in the 9th house of Sagittarius. Now, I've never seen anything in the 9th house, and I used to say, I don't have anything in the 9th house of Sagittarius. I don't have anything in Sagittarius. But I'm finding, you know, the occult means things that are hidden, discovering things that are hidden, that I have Lilith in there. Since I've gone in to discover Lilith, and I've been, you know, on this journey now for the past 2 months since May of discovering what these things are. And there's a black moon Lilith, and then there is what I call the dark moon Lilith, which turns out to be a true Lilith. And then there's an asteroid Lilith. And there's one astrologer who says he only pays attention to the true Lilith. Now, I'm a medium, and I have been receiving guidance from Spirit for years. And Astarte and Lilith are no exception. They go together, as you can see here. I've got them both on my altar. Now, I have discovered that I have Lilith in my house, or where Taurus is placed. Taurus is at my 2nd house, and Lilith is in there at a very high degree. And I've talked about how I'm understanding why I've had so many frustrations with finances and opposition with my spouse in my marriage. And I did decide to leave. To find my independence, to find, you know, things that would actually suit me better. And why that's such a difficult aspect or idea to come to terms with, I don't know, but it was. I had also had to deal with issues of being an ACA, and so I went to Al-Anon at the prompting of my sister, and I also went into counseling. And there my counselor gave me permission to speak what I was thinking and feeling, and actually speak what I wanted to do. I didn't understand everything when I decided to walk away from my marriage, but I knew that he had different ideas about money, and that if he wasn't going to allow me to paint a color on the walls or hang pictures or move to a nicer house, I was going to have to provide that for myself. He grew up in abject poverty. I did not. And I've learned over the years these are real things. You don't just have cultural incompatibilities. You have a difference of opinion about money. He knows how to be poor. I didn't. I didn't grow up in poverty, and I didn't like it. So you have to reacquire, or, you know, work to get back the lifestyle that you were accustomed to. And one reason that I try to share this knowledge with people is because I know since 2008 we have never gone back to the way things were before. Things were forever changed, I think, during that time. I had to go get a second job for the first time in my life. And I have Jupiter in a position in my planet of luck, where I would always have luck finding work, finding jobs, and I have, no matter how menial or low paying it was. But, you know, as a substitute teacher, being on for the summer, I didn't get any pay, so I ended up having to go get a little part-time summer job. And I've learned that another aspect in my chart is that I felt like my job was at home. I have two aspects that clearly show I feel my job is at home. Very domestic. That makes me old-fashioned, whatever, you know. There's a lot of women who really just want to focus on raising their children. And if their husband is not making enough money to support 3 other people, she has to work a little bit. And I had to work full-time for a while. Well, I couldn't do that anymore, so I did part-time. And for a while, I just did it off and on. So, you know, I had to try to get adjusted as best I could. And over the years, you do acquire some things and you keep them. Plus, I had won a contest using 3 of the same energies that belonged to Astarte. I just didn't know who she was. So now I have the symbol, the sigil, the telephone number of the goddess who was set up to bring luck, love, and money to the people. And I have stated that in my research, I have found that her name was Astarte, and the best I can understand that translates that is really that it's the temple of the people's goddess. Because you don't want your people not having harmonious relationships, right? You don't want a city full of people that are fighting all the time. And she was set up by a high priestess. I can't think of her name now, but it starts with an E. More and more, I am really finding that several of these deities were created by sages, by very knowledgeable high priests and high priestesses. So, you know, if you've had struggles in getting past the 2008 and 2009, and you didn't know how to save some money and get into the market as it was starting to go back up again, some people think it's just gambling. But it's not if you can give some money to a broker or, you know, you've studied a little bit. So, what is going to happen next? I don't know. It's going to be different, but it could also probably be very stressful and upsetting. And we've already had people that have taken their lives since the pandemic. They have lost their lifestyle. Similar to the crash of 1932, some people don't know how to emotionally deal with it. And if there is a spiritual way to work and call on an energy that will support you and help you and bring you friends, bring you networking with other females. You know, you could be surrounded by females. My father was surrounded by females most of his life, except when he was working as a musician. But yeah, there was his mother, and then my mother, his wife, and then us 2 girls. And he loved it. He didn't miss having, always wanting a son. And he was ruled by Venus. He was a Libra. So I'm going to talk about different ways that you can create a stronger connection with Astarte. Now, by now, you've probably seen I have her symbol in red on a regular mirror, and it is square. And I keep it here, but I've taken it away because it's kind of a distraction with the reflection. And I have here, actually I've printed out all of the symbols, the 3 astrological things that I had used to win a contest. Jupiter, Saturn, Taurus, the moon, and there's her sigil. Saturn can limit the opposition, and then Jupiter, being very big, can soften or lessen the effects of that limitation, so that you're not the one who's limited if you're trying to win a raffle or something, and bring the odds forever in your favor. I have won several contests by aligning myself with these energies. The second one I won was at the very first grocery store dinner that we had, and I had a chance to win a big plasma TV, but I opted for a digital family photo. And the people I had given a ride to said, "Oh, don't worry about it, Sabrina. Those TVs are going out. LCD is in. They don't have a glare." And so I consoled my daughter by saying, we are still winners. You know, we've got this wonderful digital photo frame, and I'm going to get an LCD TV to fit the new entertainment center that we won last year. So then I won another contest in a different way with the grocery store dinner several years later. So, and it was related to Jupiter. Jupiter the Great, beneficent. But you sometimes need to couple energies. You get more energy when you add one or two more energies that are compatible. And she also has the moon. So I've talked about looking at moon transits. If you've been following me by now, you should have downloaded the BH Media app and look at the transits of the moon that are happening every 2 to 3 days. When the moon comes in Taurus, you want to light a candle. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Draw her sigil, leave one out that's drawn for permanence. Take a red crayon and draw her sigil on a mirror, okay, because the mirror is a portal to that aspect of the world, the spirit world. And you want her sigil on there. And then there's colors associated to her that are generally considered pastel, but I have used red. And then red and black for Lilith. Now I also have Lilith because Lilith is considered her handmaiden, and she has made herself known to me in my third eye in May under the sign of, would you believe, Taurus. So these energies, as you concentrate and align yourself with them, will start working with you because you are connecting to them. Moon in Taurus can bring you better opportunities for work. Now Saturn is there to maybe give you some discipline or thought discipline. You know, I sometimes make affirmations on a daily basis, and then if a contest is coming up and you enter it, then her Jupiter aspect is there to make sure Saturn doesn't cause too much limitation towards you, but brings a good luck element there, so the odds are in your favor. You're going to constrict all the other thoughts that people are having who want to win and bring in Jupiter. You see what I mean? That is one way that you can work towards winning whatever it is, an interview, a job, a raise with your boss, whatever it is. Winning a female, winning over a female who you really want to treat well and be your wife. And then I have here a few drops of Astarte. No, this is Lilith oil. I just made this. I'm making Lilith oil. And I have brand new loose Lilith incense. But I have Astarte incense, okay? All of these things will saturate your senses and help you connect even more, which is what Taurus is about. you are got a pinch of incense that's going, or you've got a few drops of oil that are going. You've got the candle, you've got the sigil, you've got the colors, and you're focusing on connecting with Astarte. Thank you, Astarte. I'm so glad to get to know you. It's so wonderful to learn about these energies that have been set up with you to bring love, luck, and money. I could sure use it. And by leaving that out on a daily basis, you're going to see it's going to start working. Now, anytime that you can give something of yourself, your hair, fingernail, kiss the sigil, get your DNA on it, put a piece of raw meat or some other offering of yourself. This is going to connect you even stronger to her. Now she, obviously there's the moon, she works through the moon. So again, you want to look at the phase of the moon. Now the waning moon is fine if you want to eliminate things. It's good for eliminating bad luck. You know, you could start on the waning moon so that you ask her to help remove obstacles, you know, and eliminate bad luck. Or if it's the waxy moon, start on the waxy moon and say, I would really like to have another friend. You know, I had a friend and I've lost them, and now I have one friend and she doesn't like to go shopping. She's busy. Don't be surprised if she has you getting together with a group of females. Females need to get together and talk about stuff and do things. And I'm now part of a knitting group. It's just kind of been, you know, one thing after one thing led to another, and I got invited. And I had been thinking about picking up the crochet needle again. So I've made a finger woven chunky blanket. I'm trying to figure out how much that weighs if I decide to sell it and mail it to someone. So yeah, you know, there's so much available in this group that I've joined now. I couldn't possibly attend everything. More events than I can go to, more, you know, friends than I asked for. She can make your life easier. Luck, love, and money, that's the triple whammy. And I used to work at my altar for luck, and then I would, a couple of weeks later, decide, oh, I want to work for money. Or a couple of weeks later, well, now I need more affection and love. And then I came across, you know, love, luck, and money. And I said, well, duh. Now, she also has shown me that she works with the seasons of nature and what's going on in the heavens. She works with the constellations, star energy. She is with Taurus. And so right now we are under the constellation of Cancer. You might find that as you start to work with her now this month, that she's going to help situations probably be a little bit more harmonious, peaceful. There might be reconciliations within the family or within the home. Some kind of maybe fertility, maybe pregnancy. She's all about that. She's also about agriculture. And so I've discovered that I've taken screenshots. The other aspect of Lilith that I've discovered, there's one in my Gemini, but there's also another one in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius relates to Jupiter. And I had a dream where she came to me as a woman, and I understood her as my supervisor. And she said, come get your fire star. And the artist had finished it. And when after I woke up and I contacted the artist, she said, yeah, I finished it. I'm ready to mail it to you. But in that dream, she had a man come to me who was tall and thin and really resembled our senator out here, John Thune, who I just looked up and found out he is a member of the Committee for Agriculture in South Dakota. So yeah, he had asked me about, you know, what's that odor? Go watch that video. very important message from Astarte. She was expanding my mind, which is what Sagittarius does, and showing me, as I said in my video, a world beyond my little apartment. But other things that are going on that are actually affecting global warming, and little things that we can do that can have a trickle-up effect to make things better. Now, as I said, I've never seen anything in Sagittarius because it was hidden until I learned about Lilith. And now I see I have Lilith, an aspect of Lilith in Sagittarius. Which one is most important? Well, based on what I have been feeling and receiving in dreams from Astarte, I'd say all three. Astarte works with you, your natal chart. So if you have asteroid Lilith in a particular house, whatever that is, if it's Scorpio, then when the moon comes into Scorpio, you could very well have some type of information come to you from her in a dream. Or if it's in Pisces, those are two very psychic, spiritual houses. And so is Sagittarius. But I had wanted to name a Facebook group and start a Facebook group with my Facebook page, and I literally named it Expanding Minds. That's what Sagittarius is about, the big picture. But I'd never seen any planets in there when I was born, because it was hidden. These are very fascinating, deep self-knowledge information about the blueprint of our life and things that are not necessarily visible unless you probably pay a lot of money to have all of this extra information put in there and then have it explained to you. I want to offer this service. I made another video about that. Now that I know there are three aspects that work in your life for Lilith and challenges, Astarte will be there. Astarte relates to Jupiter, and Lilith is there. Astarte relates to Taurus, and I have Lilith there also. What I've done is actually gone and penciled in, or written in with a pen, Astarte in my chart. The same way that I made a talisman to connect me with the luck of resources and stable finances for myself with this talisman here in 2019. I figured, now, why can't I just write in what I know exists? I see Lilith is there at 27 degrees of Taurus, causing me all kinds of challenges in my life and my marriage. But Astarte is there too. It's the hidden operation. Like, you know, in algebra, and when I would sometimes have to get up and actually show a problem, you know, and we've got two factors here, what's going on, right? What's the hidden operation, guys? And I have to go and put the dot. What is it now? It's multiplication. Right. They don't always put the dot. They assume now that you should know this means multiplication. So I went in and I wrote. And I feel like I'm writing in my life blueprint. I'm updating my life blueprint in a way that imprints her onto my birth blueprint chart. Years ago, this was their technology, engraving gemstones at the right time. What is our technology nowadays, guys? It's computers and software where we can look and see what's in our chart. We can work magically to harness the energies of things that are happening, to lessen them or expand on them. That's what working with these aspects were, to help me win contests. But I didn't know Astarte was there, and Lilith was there. Astarte was helping to soften all of the challenging energies that were being presented by Lilith. That is a magical remedy with spirit. And you do not have to pay money for software and get up at 3 a.m. to engrave a gemstone and get the spirit to go in there. You can if you want to, but you don't need to, because these spirits have been imbued with that energy. And they have been fed, and people have used them and empowered them. And they are now like egregores with a type of consciousness that have those traits. So you can call on them. But you do have to work at aligning yourself with them. Have the symbols out every single day. Print off pictures. Write the sigils. Get a candle or get a tea-light candle. I have organic incense. Stop buying cheap chemical incense. I started mixing up some organic flowers and decided I'm in love with Astarte. I'm going to open a shop and name it after her and create these organically grown, hand-blended, dried flowers. Add some resin to make it stick for a loose incense. Take a look at my shop. Look at these loose incenses that I have. I'm going to be putting up an incense for Lilith, if you're familiar with her. And if you have not yet been working with Astarte, you can add Astarte now to your workings with Lilith. Those, like I said, those energies are going to help to soften the challenging aspects that Lilith presents. Now I've heard some people say you can only work, or Lilith will only come and work with you if you have her in certain houses. But, you know, and maybe I'm kind of an exception because I'm a medium. If you're highly intuitive, you know, she could come to you as well. But I think that you are going to be aligning yourself with them, even if they stay in the background. There's going to be stronger and stronger connections as you continue to work through your challenges and ask for guidance. And as you are working through them, she could come to you and say, now it's time for you to share what you did with other women. I feel like this is what's happening with me right now. So I recently did a reading for my friend and talked to her about the Lilith aspect that she has in the 4th house, which is causing her to resist change. Nobody likes change, but apparently it's more difficult for her, and she was voicing that to me. But, you know, well, I have hope, and blah, 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 you know, all these excuses, all of these things that we go through, because it's just the decision that has to be made is life-altering. The same way getting married was, you know, breaking away from the marriage, again, is life-altering. So now, aside from putting Astarte in whatever house you have Taurus located for some luck with resources and female friends, you also need to download the BH Media app, and you need to look at the moon transits. The moon will go through every sign every month. So when it hits the moon in Taurus, you'll want to concentrate on connecting to her during that time and asking, you know, can you guide me how to become more acquainted with females, or find favor from this female, or, you know, get a new friend. And then when the moon transits through Sagittarius, light a candle, and I suggest you have a clear quartz crystal. It doesn't have to be that big. And I would hold it in my hand and say, if you can give me some higher education, some higher spiritual knowledge, connect to me and show me something. Give me a message, you know, that is helpful to me and helpful to my city, you know, my district, my state, my planet, the earth, whatever. She's connected to the earth and agriculture. And then in December, in Capricorn, when the moon comes around in Capricorn, again, focus on the aspect of her connection to Capricorn and ask, what can you show me now that Capricorn is in the sky? What aspect of Capricorn and Saturn can you show me to help me? I know that Lilith, her sigil is Saturn, and this is a very constricting energy. And I know that there are challenges that I'm being presented with, that if I can truly overcome them and gain wisdom, I can really evolve as a human being and a soul. Or when the moon comes around in, well, I would say if the moon is waxing, you could start on a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday, 3 nights in a row, asking to please be seen as the right person for the right job when you go in your interview next week. So, you know, you just have to put forth a little effort for those 3 days so you can harness all 3 of those energies and Astarte. And then give something of yourself. So my radical thought was, you know, why not write Astarte in your chart where Taurus is? You know, we have a lamen, which works when it's localized on your body. That's what this was. For 3 years now, it's been helping me with luck and stability. This also is going to be localized or in your pocket all day long to help you energetically charge your body with the luck, love, and money energies of Astarte. So please take a look at my shop where I've got the incense for Astarte, an oil called Astarte oil, and the beautiful pendant that is nickel plated and created by the artist Elena Lemmy from Limitless Liberations. I promise you will pay for itself very quickly if you are serious and you connect, you know, yourself. We have it out every single day where you can see it and it becomes a part of your consciousness every day. Things are going to start happening, and within probably a month or 2, you'll have a strong connection where you can just think of something and Astarte can bring something to you without you even having to sit and concentrate and talk to her really out loud. You're building a connection. So I'll be making another video about the services I'm going to offer that can help you learn how to understand the aspects of Lilith that are in your chart and how to connect to them, you know, and work with them, as well as numerology report, where I can be explaining to you your birth date number, your life path number, and the gods and goddesses that are associated with your life path number that you can start to work with, that can also bring you fast luck and results. So, you know, if we're on a plane of dense energy where millions of people have thoughts and there's internet waves and radio waves and pollution and all that other stuff, then we need these stronger energies that are more closely related to us, or they've been set up for so many thousands of years that their energy is very strong, and all we have to do is plug into it to receive some assistance, and things will happen fast when we need it, and problems will be easier to solve. They'll be farther and farther apart. I just found out, despite the fact that my rent has gone up quite a bit, that my manager was never charging me for my pets. And she still isn't. So that was a little secret piece of information I didn't know. And so when I got over my shock, I said, well, that was a piece of good luck. Thank you. Because I did have to get some assistance to help me with the rent after the pandemic, and well, 2021, you know, still trying to recover from the pandemic. I had to apply. And so we were always communicating about that, so I could, you know, she had to wait 3 months for all the money to come in, and then they paid it. So, yeah, you know, have faith, because sometimes our pride gets in the way and we just don't want to accept resources. And if there's a way to understand the real value in saving, pinching a penny, and buying a little extra when you're out and setting things aside so that when the time comes that other people that didn't have the lesson to learn that we're already learning, that we're ready to go back out into the world and either pay cash for a car or put money into the stock market when it's at the bottom, and go to a broker and say, I got $5,000 saved, let's get started. See what I mean? And Taurus is about that as well. It lifts up the meek to higher places. Taurus does not like to be financially insecure. Does not want to be poor. And yeah, it works to really gain financial stability as well as security. And as long as you're willing to put forth some effort and employ this energy into your life and even write it into your chart like I am, then you're going to come out faring very well. So that's my message for today. Thank you very much. I will be making videos more often, so ring the bell, set the all notifications to all, share, like, and I will see you very soon.